Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight.
And now we turn to our Spotlight section, and we've got a couple of things to pick through this week. We have the QPR release, Quarterly Platform Release 2 for December, and also Google's latest disability blog, where they talked about some interesting features. Warren, do you want to kick off with QPR?
Indeed, let's get started with QPR. So this is something that started as a beta back in September. So if you were not part of the beta when it started, if you are not into the QPR program, this is the one that comes for everyone, whether you are in the beta or not. You will get this as a feature drop, pixel feature drop for the month of December. Those of you, of course, that have been in the program before, these are things that you had a foretaste of prior to it dropping this month. And so lots of these things are not things that are necessarily new to those of us that are in the beta. But if you are not in the beta, this is a total different game changer for you because you never had this on your phone before. Now, there are some 9 items here that came with this QPR final for December. And I'm just going to read some of those or read them as quickly as I can. And here are what we got. 1, AI-powered notifications summarizes condensed longer messages and group chats, giving you quick understanding and context at a glance. 2, notification organizer automatically groups and silences your lower priority notifications, such as promotions, news, and social alerts, making it easier for you to stay focused on what matters with fewer distractions. 3, custom icon shapes allow you to express your style for your device's home screen. 4, themed icons are automatically applied across your apps for a more cohesive and minimal look. This creates a more consistent look and feel across all your apps. 5, the expanded option in dark theme automatically darkens most light apps, even those that do not have their own native dark theme. Dark theme helps save battery and is easier on your eyes. Yes, so because for me as a blind person, may not be necessarily, but there are lots of us, guys that, we're blind, but some of us can still see a little bit. And I know that some people that cannot stand the bright stuff. So I'm glad to see that this is there. 6, set the amount of screen time that can be spent on a device each day to help establish healthy habits. 7, set downtime schedules to automatically lock the device at night to ensure restful sleep without distraction. 8, control app usage by limiting time spent on specific apps or blocking apps entirely. And 9, add more time by granting extra minutes when a time limit is reached or to extend a scheduled break. Those are the 9 items that came with the QPR December feature drop. Alongside with that, we also have the December security patch, and they're like maybe 32 items. I'm not going to read what those things are, but I'm just going to, read some of the items, for example. So, we got audio, 1 item fixed. Then we got battery and charging, 2 fixed items. Then we got the next one is Bluetooth, 1 item fixed. The next one is camera, 1 item fixed. Next, we got display and graphics, 6 items are fixed in these ones. And like I said, I'm not reading them because there's a lot of stuff in here to go through. But at least we got 6 of them fixed. 6, framework. 4 items were fixed with the framework. And of course, I'm not going to be reading through this, but it will be in the show notes, in the URLs that you can read that from. 7, sensors, 1 item fixed. Next, we got system, 1 item fixed. And then we got telephony, and 2 items were fixed in this one. And next up, we got touch. 1 item is fixed with the touch. Next up, we got user interface, and 12 items are fixed in this one. So again, lots of things to go in here. As you can see, that's why there are 32 items that are fixed, or 33 items that are fixed with this security patch. Next, Wi-Fi, 1 item is fixed. And that's what we have. And so again, read that URL that we will be including here in the show notes to familiarize yourself with what has changed or what was fixed. That's what we have for both the QPR and the December security patch. And the security patch, if your phone supports it, for example, you don't have to be a Pixel phone, but if your phone manufacturer is on time, of course, you'll get the same fixes that we have. And that's what we have for December. And remember this, if you are on a Pixel device, all the Pixel devices are supported from 6 to the latest.
Thank you, Aaron. And on the following the quarterly platform release, will you be using the fingerprint sensor on your Google 10 series phone with the screen off?
That's another one. Remember, we were talking about this, was it maybe a couple episodes ago or whatever,
Yeah.
but we've been, kind of giving Google a bad time about it because they give it and they take it away. Even though it was just in the beta for those of us that were in the QPR program, we had that ability to unlock the device with the screen locked using the fingerprint, and then it was taken away. And this got brought back with the December Pixel feature drop. And so it is there. I haven't tried it. And for some reason, believe it or not, mine hasn't received the update. I don't know why. So maybe something going on. I know the last time it took me maybe about a couple or 3 days later before I got my update. So probably it's there. I didn't check yesterday. Sometimes if I don't, then I'll see a notification saying, hey, you've got something waiting for you. So I wasn't actively mashing on that check for updates. I should have done that.
It just seems really weird that they haven't had this. Like everyone else does. I remember even my OnePlus from back in 2020 had that. And obviously Samsung does, but yeah, it'll be nice not to have to unlock the phones. And it's probably just the 9 and 10 series getting it, is it? Do we think?
Yeah, I am not sure if the other ones had, because when we had it earlier, it was just like maybe the 9 and 10. I'll have to check to be sure whether or not the 8 in the other ones have it as well. But this is where someone who has an older version or older model would check to see if it does. But I know for sure that earlier on in the beta, it was just maybe the 10 or the 9 and the 10 that was supported.
It depends on the type of the fingerprint sensor that you have, because if you have an optical one, you shouldn't be having the feature, because Google decided that it should work only with ultrasonic fingerprint sensors. Okay, I should tell you that with other manufacturer phones, it doesn't make a difference if you are using an optical or ultrasonic. At least with Samsung, my fingerprint sensor is optical, and it works pretty well. But Google decided for a reason that it should work only with the fingerprint sensors that are ultrasonic, and I think I'm not sure. Does the Pixel 8 have an ultrasonic or an optical one? Do you remember, Warren?
To be honest, I don't remember, but something tells me though that it has an optical. I think that the ultrasonic introduced was as of Pixel 9 and higher. Now, I may be wrong, but I'll have to pull out my Pixel 8 to check, but I know that the 6 and the 7 both had the optical, and something tells me that the 8 also has an optical. If I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I'll have to look it up, but I'm almost positive it was an optical. Maybe it was an ultra, but I know for sure that the 9 and 10 are the ultra. Now, talking about other manufacturers, though, let's be fair, I think it's only Samsung and the OnePlus, right? Is there another one, though, that you guys know of that lets you unlock without turning on the screen?
I thought there were other ones. I can't now think of one. Sony obviously doesn't count because the
no, forget about Sony.
They don't have it under the
thing.
Screen anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I thought nothing might, but what about the nothing phone? Will that let you unlock?
No, the nothing. Remember, I had the nothing phone. No, it didn't. Unless of course it has it in the latest one. I had the nothing 2. Remember, that's what I had. No, it did not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Perhaps it's just those. I'm not sure about some of the other Chinese ones. No, Xiaomi did. Xiaomi didn't have to unlock the screen.
Oh, that's nice. So we can put Xiaomi down on the column of those that have it without the need of turning on the screen.
Yeah, and maybe OnePlus.
Yeah, OnePlus T.
Yeah, so we mentioned OnePlus and Samsung as the ones that we know, and now we know for sure that Xiaomi is one of those, making 3 that we know of. Do you know maybe Vivo, or the what's the other one? Because Realme, because they're all from the OnePlus. I mean, the parent company BBK Electronics. I think they're manufacturers of both the OnePlus and some of the Realme or Vivo phones. I don't remember now. I kind of get
Oppo
them mixed
as well.
up.
Oppo and OnePlus are the same, actually.
Yeah, Oppo. There you go.
And,
exactly. Yeah. So my guess is that probably maybe those ones would have it as well if they're coming from the same parent company. But of course, as being separate companies, even though they have one single parent, each one may have the freedom to do as they prefer. And I can't say for sure since I don't have any of those.
No. I wonder about Honor as well, whether they would.
If I get the phone that I'm planning to have, I will tell you.
Yeah,
is that an Honor one?
Yeah, she's an Honor girl.
Yes, it is. The Honor 500 Pro. I'm just waiting for it to hit the markets here and see its price.
Nice. And of course, you're going to do the unboxing. Of course, something you will have to. It's not even a choice at this point.
I do a review, not an unboxing, because unboxing becomes something boring because you don't have anything in the box. You just open the box and turn on the device and nothing.
Know. I hear you. But it's a necessary evil. I mean, back in the days, we had so many goodies that come inside the box. And now everybody's even taking away that, brick wall charger. It's just kind of nothing, exciting about opening a boring box, Karen, as you indicated, to see a phone and a USB cord. Maybe they'll even be taking away the USB cord. So, there you go.
I really liked it when I first discovered that some of the Chinese manufacturers give you a case. I was not expecting that when I opened my OnePlus.
And there are ones who are still also providing chargers as well, the brick, and it's 120 watts and sometimes maybe 80 watts. So and I think OnePlus gives 65. I don't remember, but usually they give you fast charging brick supported. They just give you the best bricks that you could get from them, and this is great. But it's becoming less and less, actually.
Yeah, my Xiaomi had that. My Xiaomi, I got the 120 watt charger. In fact, I've still got it. I sold the phone, but I kept the charger.
The one thing though about OnePlus is their stuff is proprietary. So if you want that fast charging, you'll have to use the one that comes from OnePlus.
Yeah, that's right. I think Xiaomi was the same. I don't think I could use another cable, for instance. Let's move on then to talk about some of the disability developments that Google announced just in advance of last week's International Day of Persons with Disabilities. They published a blog outlining some features, and we'll focus on the on some of these. Shall we start, just because we did cameras a couple of weeks ago, shall we start to the improvements to guided frame? And this is going to make greater use of Gemini, isn't it, Warren?
It is indeed. And, we cannot emphasize this enough because we talked about cameras, right? And the important role that they play in the lives of those of us who are blind. And it is huge for me personally. I used to be like, what's the big deal about description? And I used to give Karen a bad time about it. But finally, it hit home for me because there are details, like you were saying earlier on, Karen, that usually we often don't notice that it's there in a picture. Even if a sighted person is describing a picture for you, they don't give you some of those details. And so really, for me, I think that this is a win-win situation for us, especially for us. And when I say for us, I'm often always talking about us, the blind folks. And so I am excited to see that this is something that Gemini is powering and making it more usable and all of that. So I'm all on board, Ed. I love it. How about you? You got that one TB pixel that you're not talking about. What's up with that?
Yeah, I did. So last week we were out. We'd dropped a little child off at her birthday party, and there's a secondhand phone, or it's a secondhand electronics and media outlet called CEX, well known in the UK, and in its window, winking up at me, was a 1 terabyte Google Pixel 10 Pro, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and get it. So
welcome home, boy.
Katie Kins questioned whether I really needed this with a 1 terabyte Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, but I persuaded her that I really did. So I got it. I got a screen protector on it. I got a little case for it. So it's, and unusually for that store, they actually had it boxed. They don't normally bother, but so yeah, I even got a box with a USB cable. As you say, nothing else though. But yeah, I have that. I think I do prefer my S25 Ultra, but it's still early days for the 10. But it's definitely a nice phone in the hand. It's a nicely designed phone.
Nice design.
I like the shape of it.
Yeah.
I like the shape of it.
It's beautiful. And, like you said, you can tell Katie girl, boys, we like the big stuff, don't we? Because to be honest, you don't have to worry about, storage. For example, so we're talking about videos and all of that. And then we're talking about music earlier on. Really, so if you have lots of music, offline music and all of that, and then if you have books, for example, whether they're ebook readers or audio books, for example, EPUB books, for example, and audio books together, that storage gets eaten up pretty quick. And most especially, I hear people talking about, recording videos and all of that. You don't want a little puny storage to manage all of that. So right. I just want to make sure that I'm not in need of storage. And that's the one thing I'm always afraid of. And hence the reason, if there's the biggest storage out there, I always opt for that biggest storage if I'm able to, or else it's just is no bueno for me.
Yeah, and 1 terabyte is a great option. Then they're obviously harder to find. Online is fine, but in store it's sort of rare to see them. If you take a contract out here anyway with a network provider and get your phone on contract, I tend not to, but they only carry the lower device storage. They have to order it in and all that stuff. So to sort of see one, and it was just sitting there, and I thought I'm going to go and get it.
You're right, because I don't think you will ever see the 1 TB storage at the carriers. At least I haven't seen it, whether it's at
No,
ATT, Verizon, or T-Mobile, for example. So you only get those things online, for example. And so, yeah, and I'm surprised your store there has it. But, like you indicated, though, that store is probably not a typical phone carrier store. Is it a phone
that's
carrier
right.
store? It's just like an
No, it's a
electronic.
second-hand, yeah, electronic store. So
Yeah, so that's why they have access
yeah,
to making it available there. So that's really neat. If I were there in your neck of the woods, probably that will be my store. Go there
yeah,
and look for the
yeah.
good stuff.
And it's lightly used. They test them to check they're in good condition. You get different grades. I think they have 3 grades. So yeah, it's a nicely conditioned phone as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's just look at some of these other features. The next one that will probably be of interest to a lot of people, I think, won't it, is the double tap to start and stop dictation.
Yeah, so Google took to the blogs to highlight that. In other words, this is something that is coming to TalkBack. So if we get the next version of TalkBack, I'm positive we're going to have that capability in there, because a lot of people like that capability of just basically double tapping with 2 fingers to start and stop voice dictation. And I think that's a good thing, because oftentimes it's harder for others to try to find that voice input there above the letter P. So now that we're having this, or this is coming, I think it's a game changer, because all that needs to happen is to just double tap with 2 fingers. But my guess, though, is that this is something probably is going to be working maybe if you have the Gboard. I'm not sure if you have something like the Samsung keyboard, for example. Of course, if Samsung jumps on to the same version of the TalkBack that would be coming that supports that, I'm thinking it should be able to work with the Samsung device too. So you guys that like your Samsung devices, you have to keep an eye out on that one to see if that is the case when it does hit.
Don't be hopeful about that, because actually, usually Samsung doesn't do such changes. Because, for example, the spell checking feature, which is in TalkBack, it's called now Proofread, I think. It doesn't work when you use the Samsung spell checker, and it's by default it's by default the one that is on Samsung devices. So, for example, if you have Samsung TalkBack installed and you try to use the Proofread, at least when I tried it the last time, it didn't work. You have to have Gboard, and then you have to use the spell checker of Gboard as the spell checking service. At that time, when you select the spell checker of Gboard, it will start working the proofread. So this means that usually they don't try to make things work with their own version of keyboard. So I'm assuming that this could be also the case when using with the feature that uses double tapping with 2 fingers to start and stop voice dictation.
The good thing, however, is that at least everyone has access to Gboard if they want it. And so if you're looking forward to this, then definitely get Gboard, and then we'll see what else comes with it. So until we have this, we cannot say for sure, and we're looking forward to it. And when it does come in, of course, it's going to be one of our TalkBack highlights, and we'll talk more in depth about it.
Other things mentioned in the blog, one of them we've touched on already, and this is this more consistent dark mode. Warren talked about that when we were going through the quarterly platform release. So you're not dazzled by, if you've got dark mode enabled, opening an app that doesn't support it. You can fix that. A couple of other things I think worth mentioning. It's supposed to now be easier to connect hearing aids. Obviously, we do have deafblind listeners, so that might be something you want to keep an eye out for. Anyone who uses voice access, I think, will be able to enable that now without touching the screen through Gemini. Just ask Gemini to turn it on, which will be handy if you have those dexterity issues that make interacting with the screen difficult. Those are the ones that stood out to me. Anything that you guys picked out of that we haven't talked about?
Well, thank you so much, Ed, for mentioning those last two items, because you know what? The truth is that we're oftentimes more focused on ourselves, and I'm talking ourselves of being blind people, that we oftentimes kind of let these other ones fall between the cracks, so to speak. And so I'm glad that, you know, Google is not just thinking of only one disability group, but looking at the whole disabilities in general. And so I'm thankful that we have something for our brethren that maybe have a hard of hearing problems and are able to now make better use of their hearing aids and making it easier to pair with their phones. And also Ed mentioning that voice access, which is a very good feature, because believe it or not, you and I are able to hold a spoon and eat food and, you know, eat Karen's home-cooked dinner out there with a knife and a fork. Lots of people are not able to do that. And so to be able to have that capability of using your voice to control your phone, I think it's a huge win-win situation for those that have those dexterity issues. So I'm glad to see that happening. And when something happened to one of our brethren within the disability communities, I'm all thankful.
Yeah, so we can look forward to those features dropping in due course if they haven't arrived already.
Another announcement, maybe it's a coincidence, not really related to Disability Day, but it's the open beta stage of Eloquence. Already, Warren, I think you shared the news on our mailing list and on the Telegram group. So I think they announced it maybe at the day of this disability or the day after it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, but they didn't. I think they didn't mention this anniversary or something. They didn't mention it. So yeah, but it's good to see Eloquence moving forward and reaching the open beta stage. However, it's not possible to for everyone to join because they need a limited number of people. So yeah, it's but this gives us the like hope that it's coming, the stable release is coming, and it should be soon. So yeah, but if you want to offer, if you are able to join the beta, you have to be a subscriber. You can just have first the 7 days free trial, and then you have to be a subscriber to continue using the app. But here I have to mention something already. It's known, it's not a secret actually. They have made a good job when it comes to deciding subscription prices, because they are making the subscription plans like considering the state of the countries, the financial state of the countries. So for this reason, I subscribed actually. I'm not an Eloquence fan in any way, and this is already a known fact. But I subscribed just to as a thank you gesture because they made the price here cheap. I'm not going to disclose the price here, but it's cheap. Yeah, it is great.
And you got my respect, Karen, because I know you not necessarily an Eloquence type of gal, but for you to go out to subscribe, you know, speaks volumes, because the whole thing for me is about supporting that company, doing what they've done, and also doing what you just mentioned. Goes to prove that they have our interest at heart. And so I'll subscribe to it for sure once my trial is up. And even though now I'm more used to the Google TTS, but I will subscribe to Eloquence, because to be honest, you got that responsiveness. You can't beat Eloquence when it comes to that, and the customization also sets it apart from the other ones. I think the other one that comes close to it is both the vocalizer and a cappella TTS engines. Talking about customizations here, so Yeah, I'm glad to see them doing that and rolling it out. You have to keep checking to see if you're allowed in, but if not, once it's in the public beta, I mean, it is in the public beta, but then they're not going to have everybody in the beta. There's no such app that has everyone in the beta. So if you're lucky, you get in. If you're not lucky, then that's fine. Just wait for the release for everyone to jump on.
And the other good thing about Code Factory here, I think Karine mentioned the differentiation they had in country rates, but they also reduced those country rates following feedback. They differentiated them, but everyone thought, I think across the board really, that it was a little bit too high. So they've all come down, including in the UK and US, which is good.